Hi everyone. I recently made two kitchen themed journals. One I have here and I'll do the second one another day. This one is made with Susie's new stove. It's a vintage little golden book cover. I put book corners on this one because it was in kind of rough shape, pretty beat up, but I just love the book, so I really wanted to use it. As you can see in this corner here, down by the corner, there's a tear spot, but I left it. I think it's still okay to use. The journal has two signatures. I'm going to guess about 30 pages in each. It has a removable tassel, and whoops, we're good off center there. The tassel consists of ribbon and beads, and I made scale miniatures for many, many years, and I got rid of most of my stuff, but I hung on to some of the little mini trinkets, so I had a lot of kitchen ones. So I added some charms to it, like the cornflakes box. There's a little tea kettle, a rolling pin, a whisk, a fork. I believe that's a can of oats. So I incorporated those into the tassel as well. I put a closure on this one. It's just a hair elastic, and I attached a bow. It's made out of the same fabric as the spine. And it just slides off, so if you don't want to use it, you don't have it stuck on there. Inside is, I left the inside covers plain. This is pretty old and I wanted to maintain that. First page we have a pocket, and in the pocket is just a note card. It's blank on the inside, and it just has some kitchen items on there. And we have a tag made from a book page, and it's rubber stamped with some kitchen items like the teapot and just some flowers. Here's two recipe cards over next page. I glued it together and then sewed around the border to make it one. Some glittery scrapbook paper with a fork, knife, and spoons all over it. Trimmed in some eyelet. This is a page from Susie's stove, and it flips up so you can write underneath it. This is plaid wax paper, torn off a roll that you can get at Dollar Tree if they still have any in stock anywhere. Here's a recipe for pistachio salad, and that's attached to a sheet of, I guess you would say, computer print paper, where you'd print on it, and it just has different drinks along the left border. Here we have a tuck spot. This was off a divider in a cookbook binder. And we have a recipe for chocolate fudge loaf and a blank recipe card. Plain red scrapbook paper or cardstock, just punched with a border. And cut out from some type of magazine that I found somewhere. Just a very old stove. Some ledger paper with an old scale sticker. Scrapbook paper with teapots and coffee pots and cups all over it. If I'm not mistaken, that's Joann Fabrics, but it could be Hobby Lobby. Here's a tuck spot. Has a piece of blue doily. Actually, it was a cream color doily, and I dyed it blue. I had cut it out from it. And we have a journaling card. This is one of those I can't remember the brand name, where you would iron it onto like a tea towel. I just had a scrap of it from somewhere. A recipe card for creamy fruit salad. And just a journaling card that says, "Let's eat." This is actually wrapping paper that has kitchen items all over it. A grater, some canning jars. I'm going to guess that maybe this paper would have been used for a bridal shower, maybe? I can't think of any other reason why you would want kitchen items on wrapping paper. But there you have it. Here's one of my flip-flop tags, where it can go down either way. And I just have a sticker of a cake and a sticker of a serving cake server to go with the cake. There's a belly band with a "Thanks a bunch" note card and a word search for breakfast cereals. It's a little sandwich bag. And inside is some play money. And this is a sequencing card with some instant coffee and a cup on it. You have some pockets. I don't know what I call that, but they kind of crisscross there. That's just an apple. You can write on either side. And an invitation. Bon appetit. Please come. It's a journaling card. Put check on the back, and a lady putting a casserole in the oven. Looks like a send receive list there. I think this was a stencil, and I colored it in, and I have Kiss the Cook done with an old-fashioned Dymo labeler. Horizontal belly band with part of a sentence strip with the word milk. And this is a very vintage kitchen. This was cut out of a vintage magazine. Very blue. On this side, I just have a strip of washi tape that has fruit all over it. Here's a tuck spot, old-fashioned coffee grinder that's actually cut from a tablecloth that I found at an estate sale. This is cut out from a paper pack of scrapbooking paper. Time for a cup of tea. And an empty recipe card with an old-fashioned stove. And I lined the page with just some blue note paper. So if you want to write on that too. A little tab, soups and salads. That's from a recipe binder. In the center here, we have a received receipt. This is an apron tag. You can write on the back of it. And I don't remember where I saw this. This particular design was not mine. I found this on YouTube by someone. I wish I remembered who. And then we have, as some color, a sewing lady. And it says, "Oh, Donna, I read recipes the same way I read science fiction. I get to the end and I think, well, that's not going to happen." And that could not be more true of me. I will read a recipe. First, I look to see what it takes. If I don't have it on hand, I usually won't make it or go out of my way to get the ingredients. And if it's too involved and too much work, I will make it. I don't like to cook. I cook all the time, but it's not something I enjoy. I'd rather be crafting, hands down. Here's a card in the center. And I think, yeah, it's blank on the inside. And it's just to let you know what's cooking. I thought that was cute. This side of the pocket has a kitchen check. Things I need from the store. And a journaling tag. And the paper has a coffee pot, pots and pans. And I just added the little pink flower. A side tuck, it's doubled. Here it's a market list, is in the first part of the pocket. Then the back one has Mom's Baking Company. Breads, biscuits, pies. And that's a note card. And I just added a tag with the buttons to coordinate with that page. Over here's a flash card. Little tag that swings out of the way so you can write below it. And a handwritten recipe for orange pineapple pie. Sometimes when I look at these old recipes that I find at estate sales, I'm like, should I try it or not? Usually I end up not. It's paper with a ribbon cluster. Scrapbook paper. Envelope. That's a rubber stamp of a teapot. And inside is a note sheet that says Public Library. And that's from Target. They recently had those notepads there. Here's the other half of that lunch bag. It holds a recipe for strawberry salad and a journaling card with a ribbon scrap. Another side tuck. A journaling card that has a pocket sticker of teapots on it. And inside is attached, or I should say enclosed, another little journaling tag with a teapot or coffee pot on there. You can also write on the back. And this is a journaling card, and on the front, this is cut out of a wallpaper border. I have a book, an old book. I haven't been to many estate sales lately. It's really dried up around here recently. I don't know. I don't seem to have gotten many new things in my stash, but maybe that's a good thing. Forces me to use what I have. Here's an ad from an old magazine for cookware. And lifts up so you can write underneath. The other half of the wrapping paper just has some washi tape on that. Kind of bolster it up. Here's a tuck spot. This is like a Wally decal, and it's of apples. Here's a journaling card of a lady in her maybe 1940s or 50s kitchen. And a journaling tag that has what look to be Pyrex bowls, knockoff Pyrex bowls, and those are, I have a die that cuts those out. Old-fashioned sifter. Double pocket here. This one holds a little journaling card. The water is boiling in the kettle. You can write on the back. And another lady in her 50s kitchen mixing something. This is from an ad for New Yorker applesauce. Never heard of that brand. I think the magazine I got it from is from the 40s. Here's some yellow. I think that would also be considered gimp trim. And that's a yellow die cut. It reminded me of a sun. Put it up there. Other half of that paper with the drinks on it. And there was a cherry printed there. So I put a little red button for the cherry. Here's a journaling tag with a teapot. I made that on my Cricut. And this is from Susie's stove, a journaling card. And she's playing with her toy stove. This is a journaling card. If you don't have photo corners, which I don't, just circles punched out work. You can write on the back of that. And that's from a Best Merchandise catalog from the 70s, I believe. Here's a pocket. It has some trim. Inside we have another grocery list and a fabric tag with apples on it. You can write on the back. On this side's a corner pocket and a journaling card that says Kiss the Cook. Some chipboard letters. This was cut off some scrapbook paper. Right on the back of that. And part of a sentence strip that has an electric roaster on there. Double pocket. Just has a tag. An orange and white polka dot tag and a green and white polka dot tag. And that coordinates with the page opposite. And it has an orange ruffle sewn down. Here's another pocket. This is a place card for the table. And this is from Meg at Chasing Retro. Her coffee shop has these canning jars on there, and I like to use them and turn them into little notepads. If you want to do it, the glue I use is Eileen's tacky glue, and it works great to hold that paper together, and it tears off cleanly. If you're interested in making your own little notepad, you don't have to have any kind of special glue. Some pink notebook paper, some circles sewn down, rubber stamp. This is from Susie's stove, and I just sewed it down. Some trim. This was wrapping paper with lemons, and it's like textured, almost like a vinyl. And a doily. Some more scrapbook paper. Here's a library pocket with hints from Heloise. And on the pocket, there's a lady showing off her new dishwasher, and just like that, the dishes are clean. It's amazing. Or here's some just white punch-out flowers. More from Susie's Stove. Here's a journaling card with oven mitts on it, and I flocked the oven mitts so it has some texture. And a blank, or I should say an embellished index card. Here we have a ledger sheet, rubber stamp of a teapot. This is red and white check papers, like the kind you would put in a plastic basket that you would get like a hot dog in or something like that. And then these were stickers that I layered on top of one another on cardstock, cut it out, and sewn it down. Here's a tuck spot. Has a little brown envelope, and inside is a journaling tag for Ben Hur Allspice. And a blank recipe card. And another recipe card. On this side, and then that envelope, and it has a recipe for chef salad. Little dimensional cherries. There's the stamp there. And this part of a bag, I think this was for French bread, if I'm not mistaken. You have another one of these send receive logs, and this is a top value collection page, or I don't know what you want to call it, but I bought one of these and it was completely full. Somebody never cashed in all those stamps that they saved. Found that at an antique shop. Here's some music, and the name of the song is Clear the Kitchen. And Making Tortillas is on the other side. Here's a milk cap. I think I got that in Happy Mail. Sticker kitchen. Here's a pocket made out of a page from a recipe book, the journaling tag, and Kellogg's Rice Krispies. A sheet of scrapbook paper with donuts. It's a packet made from wallpaper border. Inside we have journaling tag with glazed tongue. Oh, it sounds awful, which is why I put it in there. Because who would eat it? Ooh. And this is part of a banner, like a brown paper banner. And it has a tea kettle on it. Glazed tongue, tomato something on there. Ooh. You wouldn't get me to eat that. Some of those old recipe books, wow, yowza, there's no way. Some of those recipes. Here's a tag of what's cooking. And that opens up, but I don't have anything in there, so I'm going to leave that sticking out so I don't forget to fill it. And I made the pockets out of acetate because I liked this paper so much I didn't want to cover it. So I made the pockets clear. And this side just has an altered paint sample. That's die cut, and this is cut out of some scrapbook paper. I didn't put a lot in. I didn't want to cover it up. picture of a girl peeking into her well-stocked refrigerator. Over here's a corner pocket with an old mixer and the crank mixer. Anyone still have one of those? It's a journaling tag that swings out of the way so you can write below it. It's also blank on the back. And this is just a yellow writing paper. That flips up. You can write underneath that. Here's a belly band. We have another one of Meg's canning jars, and this too is a notepad and a journaling card that says "Bless this kitchen." This is just some journaling space. This was part of a table runner, I think, or a doily. I cut a section and dyed it. Some very tiny little delicate white pom-pom trim. This bag holds a recipe for toffee bread pudding with cinnamon toffee sauce. That sounds sweet. I'm not opposed to that. Here's a up tuck with a jello mold in it. Lime jello. Ooh. And I don't know if that, it almost looks like cucumber in there. Could be. With a recipe card, lined on both sides. And a journaling tag, and the image is from Susie's stove. And I covered it with, it's like a tissue paper. I got it at a store that I purchased something, and they wrapped that purchase in this, it's almost cloth-like tissue paper. So I wasn't going to let that go to waste. So I used it there. Here's more little pockets. It has raffle tickets, and this one holds a penny wrapper because not much else would fit in there. It's more ledger, and this is scrap cluster, fabric cluster, tuck spot, the satin strip that says egg, and a little white bag, and that holds a journaling tag that once again swings over so you can write on it, and it has the blue coffee pot. Oops, we're going to put that back in the bag. This is some orange, or I should say peach lace trim. Another Bon Appetit that's attached with an embellished paper clip that says jelly. Some more of the lemon wrapping paper, other part of it. A blank sheet. I'm going to do something with that. That'll be a surprise. Didn't realize I missed one. And over here, just flips out. That's an image from the kitchen in Downton Abbey. I have the Downton Abbey cookbook, and yes, I cut it apart. I cut things out of it. And on this side is, I I guess you would say it's a large index divider, and it just has a fabric cluster on it. And then the inside back page. So I'll have to fix those two things, add something and put something on that one empty page. But that's it for Susie's new stove. It's pretty thick. I normally don't do them that thick, but I had a bit of ephemera to use, so I try to use up as much as I could. So I hope you liked this journal. I hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon with the second one. Thanks, guys. Bye.